Oh, there you have it. Buffalo winning that one by what? 2 touchdowns, as we expect, over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big win for the Bills, and I'll say this about the Buffalo Bills. This team has been good. So this is the Bills fans going crazy here at North Star in San Francisco. This is probably the best team bar in San Francisco. All right, there are the Bills fans fired up. Let's go over to Washington Square. Let's find a spot with fewer people. Buffalo wins by 2 touchdowns. They've got the Bills backers here at the North Star in North Beach. Perfect timing for the end of this game at golden hour. We've got a little bit of time before the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kick off in West Florida. That game went exactly as we expected. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a great team. The Buffalo Bills have the potential to be a great team. I think that a lot of people misjudge them. They've always been good, Buffalo has. They just were severely underperforming earlier this season. But as we saw today, Josh Allen is built for this month of January. He's got massive hands and obviously just has a big frame in general. At 6'5", with the hand size that he has to be able to grip the football in adverse conditions, in the cold weather, in the wet weather, and then with the ability to run the way that he does, Josh Allen is a guy that's always going to be dangerous, and this just sets up an epic matchup next week where the Bills, they're going to be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, and we know the Chiefs are a really balanced team. Well, the Bills have the blueprint for balance. It's just that their defense has been a bit injured this year, but if you look at Buffalo's DVOA profile, it's the number 3 offense and the number 13 defense. So it's a really damn good Buffalo team. That there's real legitimate balance on this football team that needs to be reckoned with. The Chiefs are number 7 defensively, number 8 offensively. So Kansas City obviously has a lot going for them. But this Buffalo Bills team, especially with the home field advantage next week, I think it's going to be close to a push as far as the spread. I think you're going to have an even spread or something very, very close to that for this football game. Did you guys see the Josh Allen run, the 52-yard run? I'd never seen something like that. The defense on that play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defenders were legitimately afraid of Josh Allen. They didn't want to step in front of him. They didn't want to tackle him. And, you know, when you got a 230, 240-pound quarterback, however much Josh Allen weighs, it makes sense. But we've never seen anything like this in the NFL. Somebody who has that kind of strength and that kind of intimidation factor when he's running the football. And again, that goes back to what truly translates in January. If the run game translates in January, the power run game translates in January, toughness translates in January. We've seen the soft teams, the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys, eliminated in blowouts. Well, the opposite of soft is Central Valley tough. Central Valley tough is the opposite of soft, and that's Josh Allen grew up on the farm in Firebaugh, 559 area code. We know that he's built to the right stuff, and you know, he might have thrown a few too many interceptions this year, but you can count on him to bring the toughness when it matters at this time of the season. So anyway, I'm in North Beach right now. We're going to cross the street right now, and we're going to go check out Washington Square. So let's make it across. Ooh, there's the Transamerica Pyramid. Like I said, it's golden hour. Got some beautiful weather here. Monument to the city's firefighters. To commemorate the Volunteer Fire Department of San Francisco, 1849, Gold Rush, to 1866, 49ers. The 49ers were founded in this year, the actual 49ers. Then the football 49ers came a little bit later. This was made or paid for by Lily Hitchcock Coit, who also was the one that funded this tower, which is called Coit Tower, which is also a monument to the city's firefighters. So monument to the city's firefighters, monument to the city's firefighters. All right, let's continue forward. Let's go into the park here at Washington Square. So the Bills are really damn good. They're bona fide Super Bowl contenders. We learned that this weekend. That was verified this weekend. We already knew that. That was verified. The Chiefs, yes, bona fide Super Bowl contenders as well. Two of those balanced teams, the powers in the AFC, going to be going at it next week in Buffalo. We'll see what the weather ends up being for that football game. So here I am. This is one of my favorite spots of San Francisco, right in the middle of North Beach, Washington Square. You can see both the Salesforce Tower and the Transamerica Pyramid straight ahead of us. We could walk over to the Benjamin Franklin statue in the middle of the square. Sun splashing on Coit Tower before it goes down. Hell, we could even walk into the San Francisco Italian Athletic Club, of which I'm now a member. That's across the way. So the 49ers, it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, they're a couple wins away from having to potentially face Buffalo or Kansas City, but I think both of these teams, they might not be exactly the same versions of Buffalo and Kansas City that we had grown used to seeing in the past, because Buffalo's got some of these defensive injuries and they're a bit weaker on that side of the ball. And Kansas City's obviously stronger offensively, but probably weaker when it comes to the receiving game. But both of these football teams are legit. They're both tough enough to see success in January. They're both balanced enough for them to be a threat against a superpower like the 49ers. And the key for San Francisco now is going to be to survive far enough to get to position to potentially play a couple of these teams. Because, you know, you look at the Ravens, and I think they're clearly the best team in the AFC. But when you have balance, the way that Buffalo has shown that they have balance and the way that Kansas City has shown that they have balance, these guys can beat the Ravens at any given time. Hell, even the Texans might be able to upset the Ravens. It's anybody's game. And next week we're going to see Buffalo and Kansas City, but we're also going to see Houston play Baltimore. And that AFC bracket is really damn competitive. I think it's safe to say it's more competitive than the NFC bracket, where the 49ers are so clearly head and shoulders above every single other competitor. In a little bit, we're going to be getting Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. And it would not surprise me to see Philadelphia, even though they are the favorites in this game, lose this football game, because the Eagles are sliding. The Eagles were broken by the 49ers. I mean, the Eagles had this aura to them. They were never very good this year, right? The Eagles were winning very narrowly, but they had this aura to them that was like this confidence that they were winning these close games, and they were winning these close games consistently. The 49ers came in and just kicked their ass and broke the Eagles' confidence. Ever since then, Philadelphia has lost 5 out of 6. And then we saw the injuries really start to pile up for the Eagles. And now they're on the road in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield doesn't scare a whole lot of teams, but Philadelphia has been playing some bottom barrel defense. Their defense is ranked number 30 in the NFL ever since they played the 49ers. And I think that Baker Mayfield can have a field day against the defense that's playing that poorly. And then you have to wonder if Philadelphia is going to have the offense to rebut on the other side. So exciting little gap in between the games right now as we get to walk around North Beach. The Buffalo Bills hold serve. You talk about the 49ers, it's just funny because I go back to San Francisco's start of the season, and they played Pittsburgh, and we just saw Pittsburgh against the Buffalo Bills. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, people were afraid of them. The 49ers fans were saying, oh, it's Pittsburgh. The 49ers are going to struggle in their Week 1 game. Well, the 49ers didn't struggle in their Week 1 game. They wiped the floor with Pittsburgh. They handled them on the road more easily than Buffalo handled Pittsburgh at home. By the way, I said Ben Franklin. There he is. There's Benjamin Franklin. Right in front of St. Peter and Paul Church, where Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe took those wedding photos. Anyway, the 49ers handled Pittsburgh back in week 1, all those months ago, and we can look back on that season opening win for the 49ers, and we can say that's when we knew this team had a really, really good shot to be dominant. And now here we are in the playoffs. Pittsburgh made it. Different quarterback. They're back to Mason Rudolph, who started back in 2019 in week 3 against the 49ers. And Pittsburgh just didn't have enough firepower to beat a really balanced team like the Bills. It's wild what kind of journey Buffalo has been on this season, right? The Bills fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, former 49ers quarterback, 49ers legend, Ken Dorsey. I say that jokingly for those of you who can't pick up on the sarcasm. It's funny because the offense was never really severely underperforming for the Buffalo Bills this season. But the team was severely underperforming at the margins, but the offense was still producing at a good efficiency clip. But it was almost like they had to fire somebody after that disastrous loss against the Broncos. And Sean McDermott, their head coach, he calls the defensive plays, and he called some terrible all-out blitzes in that loss. Sean McDermott could not fire himself. So he fired the offensive coordinator. You get the feeling anytime in the NFL that a team is doing really well statistically, but it isn't showing up in the win-loss column. You think that, okay, if they get enough games under their belt, it's like the whole baseball at-bat theory. Get enough at-bats, get enough games in your belt, it will all even out, and the success will start to show up in the win-loss column. And I think that happened, and I think that Ken Dorsey was probably an unfortunate victim of some bad luck for Buffalo this year because the ball just wasn't bouncing their way earlier in the season. And Sean McDermott, he couldn't fire himself. He was making some bad calls on the defensive side, but that has fixed itself. Josh Allen is an elite player. Josh Allen's an intimidating player. Pittsburgh did not want to tackle that guy in this game, and you saw the result. 52-yard touchdown run and a Buffalo win. At this point of the year, it's all about toughness, and we'll see how tough Buffalo can be to overcome some of those defensive injuries, because there certainly are quite a few of them on that side of the ball for Buffalo. They were a top 5 unit defensively last year, but I think that with the injuries that we've seen, they're not anywhere near that this season. They did struggle a little bit to contain Mason Rudolph and that Steelers offense, even with their fans, Buffalo's own fans, throwing snowballs at Pittsburgh's receivers today. So will definitely be something to watch. We can walk through here. Let's check out a couple more things in North Beach before I get going, because it's going to be time to watch the Philadelphia Eagles and Tampa Bay today. Oh, here are the bells. Does that mean it's 5 o'clock? I think that means it's 5 o'clock. Let's listen in. Ric Flair's at the Bucs game. It's a blast from the past to the Harbaugh era. Just reading some of the comments right now. Go ahead and put in some of your questions. We'll figure out if it's 5 o'clock. Three, 4, 5. There we go. It is 5. It is 5, and I'm going to show you a couple spots here in North Beach. This is January in San Francisco. You know, you go and see what happened in Buffalo with that snowstorm, or even Nashville right now. They shut down the airport essentially for 3 days. You combine San Francisco weather with the Buffalo crowd. That's what the sports bar that I was at, the North Star, that's what the case was there at the start of this video. And I think you get a pretty damn heavenly combination. You certainly get some happy Bills fans. North Beach has the Italian flag wrapped around the lampposts here. There's Coit Tower, as I was talking about. And now we can walk over here to Liguria Bakery. This place has been around since 1911, and they close every day when they run out of bread, but they've got focaccia here. It is known for its focaccia. They've been featured on magazines and in the San Francisco Chronicle. And they also serve pizza dough. So when I love to grill my pizzas, then I could come here to Liguria Bakery, established in 1911, and get some of the best dough that you'll ever have. It's just like you're in Italy. So at Liguria North Beach, a slice of the old San Francisco. Stockton and Filbert right here at Washington Square. All right, I could walk by the old Italian Athletic Club now, except it's closed because it's Monday. That being said, we'll walk over this direction. Golden Boy will be this direction, the pizza spot, Tony's, all of the good stuff. So I'm excited to see what opens here. This used to be the Park Tavern, used to be a good restaurant. Currently, they say that Park Tavern's menu is still up there. They got to replace Park Tavern though, because this is such a good location, right on the park, right over here by my spot. Which again, I can't take you guys up to the roof today, but we will at a different time. It is, unfortunately, closed. But this is the San Francisco Italian Athletic Club. I just got inducted last month. Founded in 1918. And we'll go over here to the corner, see a couple of the restaurants, maybe walk down the alley. I'm going to show you what the San Francisco Italian Athletic Club has done for the community here. This is recent. This is just a couple months old, but we were able to put some decorative Italian flag sidewalks onto the ground here at North Beach. We're gonna walk across these sidewalks. Isn't that cool? And then here's Tony's. Some of the best pizza in the world. They even won the Pizza Cup a few years ago. Original Joe's.
With them, if that makes sense.
And we are continuing. Moving down Stockton Street. Gonna go by the original location of Bank of America here. And then we'll wrap up the show once we get to Columbus. So the Bills are for real. We knew that. The Steelers aren't. We also knew that. It was one of those games where the favorite won against the mediocre team on wildcard weekend, and now might be two mediocre teams with Philadelphia and Tampa Bay going at it. But 49ers play next Saturday, 5 p.m. Then after that Niners game against Green Bay, the next day we're going to get to see this Chiefs-Bills game. That's going to happen at night on Sunday. Should be a big, fun weekend of football. Anyway, Bank of America, you guys see that building right there? It's the original branch. It used to be called the Bank of Italy, and they changed it to Bank of America. We're kind of at this cool intersection of North Beach, Chinatown, a couple blocks away, Telegraph Hill. And if you want an iconic San Francisco shot to finish up the walk, there you go. There's the Transamerica Pyramid looking down into the financial district. And that building to the right of it, that's now the tallest building in San Francisco. That's the Salesforce Tower. So things have changed in the city. Salesforce Tower is a lot further than the pyramid, which is why it actually looks shorter. Okay. So that's going to be it from the middle of Columbus. We'll see you guys later. 49ers coming up on Saturday. A lot more coverage before then.